Hi there YouTubers, and welcome to another servicing video from SORTS 6233, the Society for the Restoration of Trains. And tonight's project in this plastic box is a Dapol ND120E VR line black. I think it's a B1, and I got this a wee while ago, so I'm just actually getting round to it now. So I'm going to take the lid off. I can't remember what's inside, so let's have a wee look and we'll see. Nice purple wrapping paper, and the tender been separated. Tender's in nice condition, nice BR black couplings and buffers there, and the looks good there. The cables here, which come, I think there's pickups in the tender fed through into the locomotive, and this I think is a drive shaft, so the motor is in the locomotive. I think, let's just see if that works, or maybe it's the other way around, maybe the motor's in here driving the locomotive from the tender. What else have I got? Oh, this is looking ominous. That looks like a set of drive gear, pistons and so on. And this is the front bogie and screws and bits and bobs, so I better put those aside as well. So let's have a wee look and see what I've got here. Well, I've obviously dismantled it, and sure enough it's a case of the motor drives the locomotive, and there's a drive gear there, but there's no pistons and con rods, so obviously that's what the problem must have been. And yep, they need to be turned through here. Yep, so obviously been a problem with this lot here. What I'm going to do is take them out of the little plastic bag and have a look and see what we've got. On the assumption that both sides of the drive chain are symmetrical, I've tried to pair off the little bits and bobs, and I've got a main drive rod, a con rod on each side. I've got some screws and a spacer on each side, but when I come to the piston mechanism, which is this one, for one side it looks reasonably complete, but the other side looks in a very sorry state, and it tends to remind me that when I purchased this there was a statement that I think it had been dropped and that had been broken, and fair enough, they had been. When I look at the locomotive itself on this side, nothing I'll try again. On this side, everything looks in reasonable condition, but when I turn it over to the other side, I soon see what has happened as well to the to the piston block or cylinder block that is just below the rail here. Trying to do this upside down. There we go, just below here. You'll see that there's a bit of a gap onto this plastic piece here, which I think is a slidey. Maybe that's what it is. That should be sliding out. Oops. Yes, it doesn't look too bad. And over here, it tends to slide much easier. Yeah, but there's definitely a break under this little piece here on the other side. I recall that when I first purchased this, I did get in touch with Dapol and see if they could provide me with a spare set, and at the time they said they hadn't, although they did suggest that I could continue to try. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this aside. I'll get in touch with Dapol again sometime over the next day or two and see if they have come into possession of a spare set of drive gear. Until then, well, let's just keep hoping. Bye for now. Hopefully I shan't be too long. Well, it's been a year since I said that I go to Dapol and see if I can get any replacement drive gear mechanisms. They in turn put me on to DCC Supplies, who told me basically that they couldn't provide anything along these lines. I tried a while ago in case it changed their mind or whatever, but I don't seem to have any success. But you never know. However, just a few weeks ago on eBay, I came across this, which is a Dapol ND 120F BR line black, early Crest, slightly different run number, but it's basically the same mechanism. Seller said the motor didn't work, and he's right, but from my point of view the mechanism is there. This is what I'm interested in, because I'm hoping that if I service this bit, then this will give me a working drive gear. It's complete on both sides. Just bring it in a little bit, and overall works, but there is a little stickiness round about there, so I'll have to investigate that. The tendon, of course, is where the motor sits, has been disassembled, but the bogie and all the drive mechanism is there. So let me get this tidied up a little bit and see if I can get this to run more smoothly than it is at the moment. The mechanism, as I said, is complete, but it doesn't run too badly, like so. So maybe just needs a little bit of lubrication. As for the tender, well, I'm going to salvage the tender from my other ND120, which is in here. So here is the tender complete. And this should operate when I apply power. So I'm just going to hook up my connector. I've hooked up my little connector, which I'm going to apply to the pickup points here and here, and I can feel it running. So let me see if I can show you that the drive shaft here at the top should start to rotate, and there you can see that the tender is now operating. What I need to do now is interface the tender to the locomotive. That means putting in this drive mechanism. The drive mechanism is a worm screw held on with two supports, and they fit into engaging slots in the main chassis, and they clip in like so, and that should hold it reasonably secure once I've lined it up. A couple of firm presses in there and in there. So by attaching through this connecting arm, I know there's a name for it, but I'm not sure what it is. Something to do with the ball and pin shape. So I'm going to just set it up on my rolling rod. Before I do that, I just had a thought. What I should do is apply power to the wheels from here. I can feel it working. Just give a bit more power and see if it makes a difference. You can see it's trying to work, but it's not quite engaging in here. Okay. That I don't think will be too much of a problem. So I'm just going to check out the mechanism and make sure it's lubricated correctly. Well, I've installed my B1 on the rolling rod, and now I'm just going to apply a bit of power, and hopefully we should see this run. And look at that. Let's just zoom in a little bit. I'm sure we can see the mechanism. Just move it a little bit this way. Oh, excellent. Oops, he says, probably my rolling rod. So that's the tender driving the mechanism through this drive gear. It did need a wee bit of lubrication, and there was in fact just a slight bend in one of these drop down gear links. So I carefully realigned it, and now look at that. I honestly had almost given up hope of getting this one to run. And now I'm going to just take the power down and put it into the other direction, and there it is in reverse. I think this is looking good. Yeah, so let me just run that for a little while. It's only just under 6 volts. And it's running pretty well. So I've got this here. I shall probably put the body shell for mine in here. Now, I don't know what these numbers are like. That's a 61363, and the original one here is a 61406. So I'm not sure which one to use. And I know what you're thinking, maybe I could keep one and get the other one working. Now, I suspect that this one here, which came from the latest machine, belongs to DCC Ready. machine because it's a N120F. This is the N120E, so I shall use this one with the original tender, with the new mechanism, but the original body. I'm assuming it works. Next thing, of course, let's see it running on a piece of track. Now look at this coming round the bend. It's my B1 under its own power, tender, driving the local chassis as smooth as you like. I'm really pleased with that. I've still got a lot of work to do. I've got to hook up the tow bar to the tender. There's a couple of leads go from the local to the tender. I've got to fix the front bogie, and I've also got to fix on the body shell. But that is something I've waited a long time to see, is my little B1 running on the track. It's taking two locomotives together to give me one working one, and I'm just going to keep the other one aside in the hope that one day I might be able to get a new set of mechanisms and in fact get the motor repaired or replaced for the second one. Okay, let's just have another last look and then I'll get it back onto the bench and get it fully assembled and hopefully running again very shortly. See you soon. The locomotive is held on. The locomotive is held on to the running gear plate by two little tabs at the back that fit into appropriate slots on the running gear plate, and I also have to engage this plastic strip here, which I think might be some kind of exhaust feedback pipe, and it goes into a little location on the cab front, and I just broken this off. Well, sure I can get that glued on. So the clip is on that side. Make sure it's clipped into here. That side looks good. And then the front is retained by a screw through the plate into the chassis body. That type of screw, quite a small screw, but it's got a large flat head. Sits into there. Small Phillips screwdriver. Carefully in there, engage it into the thread and gently turn. Checking everything's okay as I do so. That looks good. Now I'm just going to test that the mechanism still works by driving shaft. Seems to be engaged okay. Yep, that's good there. I can fit the front pony on later. To connect to the tender, I of course need to insert the drive bar, this double-ended T-bar, whatever it might be called. Into the locomotive section. and now into the tender. Quick application of 9 volts. We can find my little power clip, which is fallen somewhere. There are 2 wires that connect the pickups from the locomotive to the tender, and they are arranged that they have 2 loops, and there are 2 brass posts. Can you see that? There we go, 2 brass posts, 2 on each side, and these are held in by even tinier screws. I've noticed that Dapol uses very, very tiny screws. If I can show you one, look at that. Not focusing very well. Now, put it into the loop from the cable, the wire. And then put it into the post, catching the thread, and that should be that. And the same again with the other side. Just feed the wire out gently, because these wires are so fine. Too much pressure. Sure, these have come loose somewhere. In fact, the very first time I was working on this original machine, I didn't realise that they unscrewed, and I think I unsoldered them. But then I learned my mistake. So don't unsolder them, unscrew them. I mean, they're only very fine screws, and there are enough screwdrivers around that will handle this type or this size. So just manipulate this a bit and maneuver it into place without the screw flying off. Give it a little twist. Oh, it's come off again. Sausage fingers are not the ideal tools for working in N-gauge. But with a little bit of perseverance and carefulness, that should work. There we go. Make sure these are okay. And this one. And then the wires can be drawn up between the locomotive and the tender. There we go. Good. Just fit the front pony. Here it is. There's a swivel bar, sits over there, and a similar screw to what we use for the tow bar. Small thread, big head. It's not meant to be a rhyme to let you remember anything, just an observation. Now, lack of space in there, so I'm going to have to try and work this in. so. Bring the thread in with the tweezers, bring the screw in with the tweezers. Try and get that in there. It's amazing how big fine tipped tweezers look compared to these. I thought they were really small. It's all relative, isn't it? I know a lot of you out there in YouTube land look at me and think, wow, that guy's great. What you don't see are the 3, 4, 5, 6 outtakes that I sometimes leave out so that you don't see how clumsy and awkward this actually gets. So I thought I'd just leave this one in. Saves me a little bit of an edit. In fact, I'm going to stop here, put this in off camera, and then come back to you when I've finished. And I've just discovered something else. I thought there must be an easier way of doing it. And in fact, this toolbar comes away. So I can now fit this in, like so. Put that on there. That's the screw. Sorry, it's not a toolbar, a hinge bar for the pony. It screws in there. And then the pony sits on top. And I've got an easy job to now fit this screw here. Why didn't I think of that earlier? We have another wee hint for you. So that goes in there. Come on. That goes in there. And this should not catch. There we go. And there we have B1. Beautiful. Back to the track. And here it comes. Doesn't that look good? I think of the hours I spent on the earlier one trying to get it working. And look at that. So whoever the seller was, I'll find out later on. Thank you very much for letting me get that. I hope you see this and realise what a help it's been. There we go. Okay. As we track it round, the next time round I'm going to see if it will handle my points to go from the outside loop to the inside loop. Look at that, as smooth as you like. Just make sure it comes all the way around. Make sure I check these points. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do this time is put it back. Once you come to these points, it should switch from the inside loop back to the outside loop, and no problem whatsoever. Okay, the next thing is I'm going to set it up in a little wake of coaches and let it do some work. So, two British Rail coaches from DMU, which I'm currently working on. Just give them a little run. One. That seems good. I think I can box this one up. Yeah, I think I can. And then just wait and see if I can get other spares to get my other black E1 up and ready for run. Oh, thanks for watching, folks. I enjoyed the end result. Hope you liked that. We have some comments, probably things I could have done better. Hope you liked it. If you're into engaged repairs and haven't already subscribed, then one way of keeping in track is to just click that subscribe button and keep up to date. I'm hoping I can get a few more done over the next few weeks before work starts again in early September, and then I'm on holiday for a little while, so it'll just be a case of whatever I can get going. Thanks for watching, hope you liked that, take care, bye for now.